Creating animation. The animation in your project is related to the storyboards you can create for. And as you assigned, you are required to prepare storyboards for your animation to explain and to tell visually your idea. Once you have the idea clear and the storyboard defined well, you can start creating your animation. And as you can have plenty of ideas, so in our lessons, we will explain some basic skills to create animation. We will start with this one. This one is an animation to introduce the title of the presentation. The title is this one, and as you can see, it has a background. The background has the name title BG. So the title BG sprite is the background for the title. And we have the title itself that is named as title. And the question now is how to create like this motion to present the title background and the title. And let us analyze the animation. As you can see, the title BG is coming from transparency. So as we can consider its transparency level as 0% at this moment. After it's displaying, increasing the transparency level to come to the 100% while also moving from bottom to top. Before finishing its motion, we can find another element. It is the title starting also to display. And its motion is somehow different. It's coming out of fade also and rotating around a center point. It's now, I think, the top right edge of the title itself. Also, you can find another animation starting. It's for the portfolio. It's also rotating until to reach its position. In this lesson, we will only explain how to create the animation for the title. Let's start. Here is our file. We have added in the previous lesson the transition where we can find our movie like this transition to bring only the background, and we can find all the contents or the sprites, all the items also presented in the same frame time. Let's start creating the animation for the title and its background. Control 3 to display the score, or Control 4. Here is the BG starting in frame number 2. And we want now to create the animation for the title BG and the title. For the title BG, it can start in this time, frame number 5, for example. So the start point for the title background is frame number 5. Simply you can move all the sprites to come after. You can move it all. And leave only the title BG and the title. For the title BG, to create the motion, you have to create first keyframe. You have to create first the keyframe. To create a keyframe or to insert a keyframe, choose Insert Keyframe or press Ctrl-Alt-K as a shortcut. Now you have it, a keyframe, And here is an important note. The final keyframe should represent the current or the original placement of a sprite. For example, this is the title BG. It should finally locate in this area as it's displayed in the screen design. So, when you think about animation, you have to apply all the animation changes in the first keyframe, not in the last one. So as you have to activate the first keyframe, then the stage, and start to create your motion. Our motion here is the movement. I can move the sprite by dragging using the mouse or by pressing the arrow key, the bottom arrow or the top arrow, the right or the left. And as you see here, this line is automatically displaying to indicate the animation. You have a blue point and a red point. The blue point refers to the center point in that keyframe, and the red point refers to the center point in the last keyframe. And in between, this is the motion. Now, I can move until to reach the starting animation. This BG should be here in this position. Also, it should apply for a blending of 0%. Let's check our motion here in the timeline. When we move, it starts here in frame number 5 as 0% transparency, and it will start in appearing until to reach the 100%. It can reach the 100% and the original placement. And here we finished the title BG animation. We can start in the title animation. This is the title. We need it to start, for example, here. But let's review the motion. As we saw, we need it to move like this around a center point. This center point is not the original registration point that is in the movie center, but it's now rotating around the top right corner of the title itself. So we need in our file to make some modifications to define a new center point instead of this one that relates to the movie center, to define it for the object itself, for the sprite itself, to be, for example, in this top right corner. To apply for this, we can make the steps. Double click the sprite to open the paint window. After you open the paint window, you can find here the center point as the default point for the movie center. When you click this tool, that is registration point tool, you can click anywhere, for example in this place, to define a new registration point. Now the center point for this object is the top right. Now you can close and you have it changed as you see. The result, as you see, is you have the title moved. It's not presented in the original placement, but in this case you can move it manually until to reach the position. But to be accurate, we have to reach the last frame in the title BG, so as we can locate the title in the proper location visually. And of course, if you look for accuracy, you can use numbers to register or to place it numerically in the original placement. Now we have the title sprite edited, and we have defined the center point in the top right corner. Now we can start the motion. Let's add the keyframe here, Ctrl Alt K, and we can start our motion in the first keyframe. The animation is a rotation, like this. So it will come from this position, from this rotation angle, until to reach the final placement. And also we should apply in the first frame for blend 0% to display transparency. What can you see here is the title BG. It's until this time displaying. When we move to the next frame, it's hidden. This is because the sprite is ended here. What can we do to solve like a problem? It's to extend the sprite in the timeline. How to extend? If we tried to drag this keyframe, this will result to a slower movement. And this is not the right solution. The right solution is to leave the keyframe as it is and create a new one here. And this can be by pressing Alt and dragging the keyframe. Alt and drag. Now you have left the keyframe here. This is the title BG. It's moving, moving, moving until to locate in the position, in the right position, and still without motion. After we have it presented here in the timeline. And now we can have the two items animated, the BG and the title itself. And to have the background also extended, we can directly drag the frame. We can move all the remaining items outside until to start with their motion. And let's see our motion. The transition for the background, then the title BG and the title. The title BG and the title.